Hey guys, welcome back to our channel in another video with Girlapeutic, your home of therapeutic girl talk. The conversation today is going to be, I guess, based off of the Sierra and Russell and Future dynamic. Like the kind of, I guess, before and after. Mm-hmm. I saw a meme before and it showed like, I guess it was saying how relationships can just bring out the difference in you. So it showed Sierra BC. And then in the other, you see her as like just this family woman and, you know, all the things that she is now. And so it brought up the question, can relationships stunt your growth?
Yeah.
So what y'all think about it?
Maybe. No. They absolutely can.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I think it depends. So I think it's a matter of if you know yourself as a woman or even as a man, if you know where you're going, where you want to be, if a relationship comes to you and you know like this ain't it, I feel like you'll stop it before it gets to the point of affecting, you know, your ability to grow. However, on the other side, if you're really unsure of where you're at, who you are in life, then absolutely it's going to stunt your growth.
Mm-hmm. It seems like sometimes when you pick a person or you decide to get in a relationship with a person, like that person is just who you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
That person is not who you like see yourself becoming or who you even know that God wants you to become. You know what I'm saying? The two kind of conflict with one another. So sometimes I think our relationships can just really reflect that. Mm-hmm. And truly, that's not just relationships with like an opposite sex. That's friendships.
Friendships as well.
Yes. It's all relationships that can do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Friendships, especially. I mean, obviously, when you have that significant other, that relationship is important. But friendships, especially, because that kind of affects your actual dating relationship. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes your friends can see things that you don't see. Mm-hmm. But if you have a friend who is just like, girl, yes, y'all so cute together, this, that, and the other. You just could stay in a relationship that is not beneficial.
You know what? And we should stop doing that to people.
We need to stop doing that.
We gotta stop doing that to people.
Because cute don't mean
cute ain't it,
child. Cute is not it.
Cute is the bare minimum.
It's literally.
No.
Just because somebody is cute together does not mean that they're supposed to be together. Does not mean that they're growing, or don't mean it's cute in private. Mm-hmm. Because just because we posing and posting cute pics, on social media does not mean that things are nice and great behind closed doors. So that literally means nothing. People's perception of your relationship from the outside, people who don't really know, that literally doesn't mean anything.
And sometimes people stay in relationships because of the perception.
Yeah.
Kind of like we were talking about previously, just together. Mm-hmm. You have so many factors that can contribute to whether you are staying in a relationship that you don't see yourself growing in.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Which is, it could be we're in business together, it could be kids,
yeah.
It could be, like you were saying before, it could be like love, or you know what I'm saying, like there's different things that we feel is kind of keeping us in these relationships that's really stunting who we can be to the fullness.
Exactly.
So
yeah. And especially when you have people on the outside trying to keep you in that relationship because they don't really know what's going on. That makes a huge difference.
Friends, those are major. I think the older you get, and specifically as you start to mature spiritually, you get insight from God on what's going on. And sometimes your parents are not the ones that you need to be listening to, or your friends.
I personally feel, as an adult in general, we should be keeping our parents out of our relationship.
Absolutely.
You should be keeping as many opinions as you can out of your relationship. Now, there may be certain things where you may go to them, people, or even a friend, for counsel, wise counsel, or something like that. But as far as every update, everything, every whatever, that's really none of your business. Like, if we are two adults, then we need to be in this relationship. Because again, if it's not something where the person is stunting your growth, but it's like y'all just having a moment,
exactly,
that could stick with them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And now they hate,
and they mad
that you trying to,
mama don't like them, daddy don't like them.
Not even really be that deep.
Yeah.
Yep. Keep the opinions pure within the relationship. You know, if you feel a way about something, I want you to feel that way because you felt that way, not because somebody else influenced you to start feeling the same way.
Hello. Yeah. That's very true. Because people can especially if it's a person who has influence in your life, like a parent, what they're going to say is definitely going to make you look at a situation completely differently. Because there could be an instance where that significant other could say something and your mama may be around like, you gonna let him say that to you? But to you it's like, oh, it's not even that deep. Like, but it's a completely different situation. Yeah. And then you're like, oh no, he shouldn't be talking to me like that. When you know y'all just being playful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You in my business.
You in my business, mama.
Don't do it. But when it comes to like relationships stunting your growth, do you think that like what does that look like? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that look like for a relationship? How do you know? Because I just don't feel like you can get the opinions from others, which you may hear and may throw out. You know what I'm saying? You may hear, you may just bottle it up. But how do you know? Like, how do you realize when?
So, what if it's almost like if the relationship is not aligning and progressing you into what you know to be true and what the plan God has for you, but you know for sure that that's where you're heading, and this relationship is not aiding in that, it's not helping with that, it's not encouraging you in that, that's definitely a stunt. Yeah. Like, it's gonna stun it off the bat. And sometimes we get so caught up we don't even realize it, or we'll dumb down kind of the things that are going on in the relationship and still think that we are growing.
We realize that we ignore it.
Yeah, we ignore it. Or what if it's a matter of time? Like, you could have been here a long time ago, but now it's steady growing because you're over here worried about, or, you know, in a relationship. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
I also think it looks like compromise.
Yes.
Like, you know?
A different type of compromise,
oh my
though.
gosh, yeah.
Not the dying to self type of compromise, the more so like,
I'm not even who I know I am.
That type of compromise. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Deja!
You the church face.
Come on.
It definitely looks like compromise.
I think so.
And when you, and this is something else that we talked about, but when you're compromising, it's like you're allowing a part of yourself to really die. Like, slowly but surely. Because you become an image of that person.
Yes.
And it's just like, dang. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that, I don't know, that feeling inside. Like, internally.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And I think that's the hardest part. Like, because you have to look at you every morning. You know what I'm saying? So, or even after you've been in compromising situations, or even after you've decided, okay, I'm not going to do this because I want to stay in this relationship. You have to look at yourself and be like, okay, you had these goals. This is what you wanted to do. But now look at you and look where you're at. You know what I'm saying? That's difficult.
That's why we've said in the past, like, if you're not ready, then you're not ready.
Yeah, and it's okay.
It's okay. Because the moment you try to force someone, like if this person's not ready, but this person is, and they try to force you into readiness, that leads to resentment. And that resentment may not show up the next day or a year later. That resentment can show up way far down the line, like years later. Like, we got a family now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now I see that, wait, you mad at me for something that happened 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, so from the start, you didn't want this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then it causes the other person to probably develop insecurities or things that maybe God was working with in that season that you're now forcing because, you know, y'all ain't supposed to be here in the beginning.
Because if you're forcing a person to deal with that person is not even the person that should be handling that in the first place.
That's really good.
Like, you giving this person something that they're not even built to carry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
let it go.
That's not for that person. There is going to be a person who's going to be able to, because even if you reach a point to where you have like grown and like you know yourself and all these things, even when you get married, there's going to be things about you that you like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, dang, I didn't realize that, right? But you gotta be with somebody who is built
to handle that. Absolutely.
And to help tear those things down.
Yes.
Because it's going to seem like a lot to that person because they weren't the ones that were supposed to carry that weight in the first place.
Mm-hmm. That is. So, how do we know the difference between not necessarily a flaw, but something that we're supposed to stick with the person with, and just toxic traits or toxicity? And like, what's the difference between that?
This may sound kind of weird. You need to pay attention to what your body is doing because so like
Deija.
because like for example, sometimes I know in the past in relationships that I've been in, I lost so much weight, and I think it was my body's way of telling me you're sick. You know what I'm saying? Without me, but I didn't really fully understand. And I think just we have, we feel different types of things. We feel it. We know. So I think sometimes when our brain, like we're not listening, our body kind of kicks in and is like, no, something is wrong with you. You know what I mean?
Because your mind is already telling it.
Yeah, but you're not listening to that.
It has to filter out some way.
Yeah.
And now you're not eating. Mm-hmm. And I found too, because I've experienced similarities with that too. Dress. It's just, stuff was coming up. It's like, I ain't, like what?
And you will see how you are. Okay, let me try to put this right. It seems like you would see how you are, how you interact with people. Like you even see a difference in that.
Yes.
Like nothing about me just seems the same.
Happy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
And the only thing that has changed is really my relationship.
That relationship.
Like the addition to this relationship is really what has brought this out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's very, very
That's
true.
so true.
You start thinking, it's like, who am I now?
Yeah.
After a while.
Because you done brought in some insecurities that I didn't even have.
Right.
Like, hold on, look. And it's so funny though. But I think it's
Girl,
funny.
I felt that. Hold on.
Deep in my
soul, honey. Deep in my soul.
But I think it's funny that when we experience that, okay, so I can go into a relationship fully confident, like, listen, period. You know what I'm saying? But then when this person comes, it's like, oh my God, I feel. And then we're in our mind, we really don't realize the reason you're feeling like that is because you brought something into the equation that wasn't supposed to be there.
Supposed to be there.
We won't even think about that. But it's like,
someone
get rid of that and you can get
that
back
never
to what you
existed with the right one.
Yeah.
I remember Darius Daniels saying that there is literally no human relationship, no other relationship on this earth basically that will affect you more than the person that you marry.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're marrying this person, then let's go before that, then the person that you choose to be in a relationship with. Because this relationship has the ability to like propel me.
Yep.
Or it has the ability to keep me stagnant.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or it has the ability to have me going nowhere, real fast. Real fast. Like nowhere.
A whole nother path that you wasn't even ever supposed to be on.
That's so true. And it's hard too. Because like, I can say now as a 28-year-old, as a 22-year-old child, I wasn't thinking about any of this stuff. You know what I mean? When I wanted that stuff, but it's like you wanted it, but you didn't really know what it was about. You know what I mean? Like, and now that we're older, it's like the standard, you have to know what you want and uphold that standard as well.
That's why it's so important to actually know, even before you get into a relationship, because I think sometimes, even like I kind of said earlier, you may be moving slow, but even if they take you in a whole nother direction, because it may look like progress, like, oh, we got real estate companies, we got this, we got that, so it seems good, but it's like Jesus is like, listen, you supposed to go to med school.
It's nowhere fast.
Right. I want to do
yeah. Because even if you are achieving and attaining things, if you're not where you're supposed to be,
You out of place.
you out of place.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not
period.
for him.
Yeah.
Ooh, child.
And that's when you get into the fact when people on the outside are like, oh, it's good though. Y'all got a company. Y'all got this. Y'all got that. But it's like, no, still, that ain't what I have for you.
Because that could be the end. That right there, that whatever, could be the end when God had planned on taking you further.
Right.
But you want to stay here thinking that's the prize that I have for you.
Yeah.
And I got much more. Oh, that makes me sick.
Girl, listen, stop. I was just thinking that, like, because first of all, I hope I'm lose my original thought. First of all, every person, so if we talk about like the Sierra and Russell Future thing, the person who stunts your growth may not look like far left. No. That may look like a person who may be in church or something like that. They may love God. They may be a dope man. But what if it's just not yours?
It's not yours.
It may be a dope woman. But what if it's just not your woman?
What if it's somebody else's?
That's what I'm saying. And it's like that person still has the ability to stunt your growth because y'all not supposed to be together.
Exactly.
And you holding up somebody else's blessing.
Right. Listen.
Release me.
Get cut.
You know what?
Release
me. Free me.
Listen.
Because I'm ready. And I know you're ready to go find yours.
Listen.
So we gon'
listen, and two, this is the other thing that you say that made me think, like, you really never know what's on the other side of your obedience, right? So what we feel is like, this is it, like this relationship is, you know, it's taking me somewhere, or like, oh, I just love this person so much. Like, you know, when it's good, it's real good, and when it's bad, it's like terrible.
It's hot mess.
But, and then we get kind of like scared to let those relationships go. But it's like, you never know what's on the other side of you letting that go. I think you're like, things are happening now, like Deja was saying, if I'm got this business, or, you know, we doing all these things, and, you know, people think we're beautiful together. If you think that's good, then just imagine
what God got for you. Because listen, and I think that's what's so great, but you have to actually let go to experience what he has for you.
And it's easier said than done.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. But once it's actually accomplished, and it's like you get out of something that God was like, that wasn't for you, daughter. It's like, oh my God. Jesus.
He starts showing
I'm enjoying this alone time. I get to lay down with nobody.
The peace.
Listen.
The peace.
I ain't got to worry about somebody calling
the
me.
peace, honey.
The peace.
Okay,
I'm checking my phone.
But what does that look like, though? What does getting out look like?
Oh God,
child,
ending it,
girl.
Wait.
And sometimes it starts with you acknowledging that it needs to end. Because, and me personally, I had to ask God to end it for me, and that was a more so of it was almost like a situation was done to where he knows, like, okay, I know my daughter is not going to be going for this. So this going to make her want to do this, and we out of that now. Or it may look like just abruptly ending out of nowhere. You know, someone may move, someone just stop talking to you, or what the kids call it, ghosting. It may look like a lot of different things, but I think it started, at least for me, with asking for help. Because I was like, I can't do this by myself. I'm tried, child. I'm right back at the house the next day. So, what we doing? So, I think that's where it started.
That's real.
Oh, absolutely.
But that would definitely look different for each person, because it's hard. It's really hard.
I think a portion of that too, getting out, is being intentional about who you want to be and where you know you're supposed to be. Because the moment you start compromising and staying with something that you know is supposed to end, I mean, I think I said this earlier, but you're literally letting a part of you die. Yeah. And so it's like, you have to be committed to becoming better. You know what I'm saying? And if you're committed to becoming better and doing what you're supposed to do, even though it'll be hard, my obligation and my commitment, you know, to God and to becoming a better woman, a better man, is outweighing my desire to be here. Yeah, because that'll pass, and that's what we don't realize or we forget, is that emotions pass. You will be fine.
They're
eventually,
temporary, honey.
You will be fine.
Them emotions, them feelings are temporary, and you don't want to get into idolizing that person or that relationship, and you lose yourself, because that's the number one thing that happens, and you think that's the end all be all, when that was never the intent. You just gotta be careful, man, because it can happen. You can idolize anything, but I think love relationships,
it's so easy.
That's really, that's the kicker. So embrace your single season. Moral of the story: if you're single, embrace it. Embrace it. It is completely okay. It is a season, not a sentence.
I know that's right.
So it's a season, honey, not a sentence.
Listen, honey, because period, honey, we ready. We said Poggy Day.
It said Poggy Day.
All the balls to the left. All the little ass is to the right.
Listen.
If you desire that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because some people don't desire to be married. They desire to be single. And that is okay.
That's
But
your
we desire
calling.
to be, we desire to be married.
Yeah. Yeah, and just take that time to get to know yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to be in a situation where somebody comes and can easily stunt your growth. Because you don't know where you were going in the first place.
Yes.
And that's a problem.
Embrace knowing yourself.
And like you
It
said,
could be a fun journey.
it's just a season. Like, it's a season because marriage is forever. So I'm going to be by myself for a little while, but eventually I'm going to be with somebody forever. So let me enjoy this time.
Right.
Let me enjoy going to bed by myself.
Okay.
Like, let me enjoy movie nights, watching stuff that nobody else wants to watch.
Child, the
Yeah,
snoring.
listen, enjoy it.
Enjoy it, honey.
Yeah. Because it ain't forever. Listen, we speaking that, honey. It ain't forever.
It's not for everybody.
Listen.
And we know y'all in the comments. We know y'all want to be. So, it's all good. Get to know yourself.
You want to go in as ready as possible.
Yes.
Or as complete and whole as possible.
Yes.
You don't want to go in half yourself looking for somebody else to be your other half.
Yeah.
You want to come in
Whole.
full and wanting a full person so y'all can have a full relationship.
Yeah. And you don't want the unnecessary problems. You want the problems that y'all get through together. You don't
Yeah.
want the ones that are just stunting y'all in the marriage. You don't want them problems.
Because even somebody who comes to you whole, or if you're whole, we're not Jesus. So we're still going to have things that we have to work on. So it's like, if you're not even sure who you are yet.
A preacher said
Like-
it's hard with a good pick. So just imagine
A
how
bad
hard
pick.
it's going to be with a bad pick.
Talk about it.
Child.
Listen.
Better pick right.
Be in the hospital because you're stressed.
Okay.
Kids ain't got no diapers.
Oh, don't even bring the kids in, child.
Right.
And life is life. Life brings
Yeah.
out so many. Life itself comes with its own hardships. So you want a safe place. You know, you have this spiritual safe place, but on earth, you want a safe place too.
Yes.
And your home is your safe place, and you want the person who is in that space with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To really cultivate that and to be a safe place also. So it has, it definitely matters.
So yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this segment. We certainly did.
Yes, we really did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so just in the comments, guys, just tell us what you think of this conversation, whether you've been in a relationship where you felt like it has stunted your growth, or if you're looking to get out of a relationship, or, you know, if this conversation helped you, or just your thoughts in general. Let us know. You may help somebody else in the comments. And yeah, like and share.
Yes, and subscribe.
And subscribe. Turn your notification bell on.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Turn your notification.
We love that. We love that for you.
That'd be great for us.
Well, we love that for you.
Well, we love that for you too.
Yes.
So I don't think there's nothing else. So thanks, guys. Love y'all.
Yes, love
Bye.
y'all. Yes, honey. Subscribe.